What's up, guys? Rick here with your tournament preview / first look for this week's AT&T Byron Nelson. Obviously, plenty of more content to come this week in the form of DFS previews, betting previews, live chats, all that good stuff. But this is not a new event, but we do have a new course, so there's a lot to try to figure out, and I thought a tournament preview or a short first look would be a great way to handle that. So without further ado, let's jump into it. Plenty of history here at the AT&T Byron Nelson. This event dates back to 1944. That was 77 years ago, and of course, it was Byron Nelson who won the first edition of this event. His prize for that week, $2,000. That's right. Purses have increased quite a bit since those days. In fact, Byron Nelson, Sam Snead, and Ben Hogan won the first 3 of these events. Imagine that. Some of the best names we've ever had play the game, winning the first 3 editions of this event is awesome stuff. But this is the first year it's going to be moved to TPC Craig Ranch. This is a new stop on the PGA Tour schedule. So I've been diving into the scorecard. I've been looking at the flyovers, trying to get as much information as possible. And I'll certainly share that with you in here in just one second. But remember, this is an event that we did not have last year. There was no 2020 version of this. It was in the 91 days of the shutdown of the PGA Tour last summer. So our defending champion goes back to 2019. That was Sung Kang. 2018, Aaron Wise. 2017, Billy Horschel. Sergio Garcia won this event for the second time in 2016. And then Stephen Bowditch won it in 2015. I mentioned we've come a long way since the $2,000 first prize that Byron Nelson won in 1944, because this year's winner is getting $1,458,000 if they are able to topple the rest of the field down in Texas. TPC Craig Ranch. This is going to be really the storyline for much of the week, especially early in the week, because it's a course we've never seen on the PGA Tour. Of course, it is part of the PGA Tour's TPC network, so it is going to be, of course, in pristine condition. It's going to have awesome practice facilities, but there's not a lot of information available on it. And in the world of golf, it is relatively new. 2004, it was constructed. It's a Tom Weiskopf design, and there's bent grass greens. I was able to obtain the official scorecard, and it's a par 72, 7,468 yards. And what I noticed was a couple of things. 3 of the par 3s are over 200 yards. One probably going to play about $1.50, 140, 150. But all of the par 5s, the 4 par 5s are all very short, 560 yards in the same ballpark there. To me, there appears to be a lot of scoring opportunities. I was able to find a flyover, which I will put in the description of this video. There's a random drone flyover from a couple of months ago at Craig Ranch. There's like 50 views of it on YouTube. I'll put it in the description. It's really handy to try to go hole by hole, match it up with the scorecard, and I don't see a lot of trouble out there. You know, there are a few holes where there is this, I don't even know if it's considered a river. There's kind of this river or body of water, probably a couple of maybe 10 feet wide, that kind of meanders through a lot of the course and runs up some of the holes that maybe you could get into trouble in. There are a few tee shots where water comes into play. There are a few shots where, a few fairways where there are trees kind of lining the fairways. I think you'd have to be pretty far off if you were to be in those trees. All in all, it looks nearly wide open, or especially for standards of PGA Tour players. If I went out there and played it, those trees would be in play. Those bodies of water would be in play. But I think for the Tour pros, there's just going to be a lot of scoring opportunities. 13 doesn't appear to be one. It is just a seemingly straight uphill, very long par 4. I think making a par there is going to be a great score. And then, but you get on 14, the very next hole, a short, potentially drivable, seemingly downhill par 4. So I really think we are going to see dastardly low scores out there. It just doesn't look like there's much defense unless the wind starts kicking, because it is Texas. That's possible, but it looks like a place that these guys are absolutely going to shred. So with that in mind, what are the types of players that I might be looking for? Well, certainly driving distance, because I don't think you're going to have to be all that accurate. Guys gaining a ton of strokes off the tee, similar to what we had last week at the Wells Fargo for Quail Hollow. I think birdie makers, guys that play well on the par fives. I think if you are, the entire field might be able to get up around or on the green in 2 shots on most of these par fives. So being able to take advantage of that, but it seems to be a birdie fest that we're going to have on our hands this week, barring any weather. In terms of the field, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Rick, it's the week before the PGA Championship. It's the Byron Nelson. It's an event we haven't had in a year. There's nobody here. Who's going to be headlining this event? Well, you'd be wrong. Stacked field for the Byron Nelson. I am pleasantly surprised. Bryson DeChambeau, Dustin Johnson, Jon Rahm, Jordan Spieth back in action, Brooks Koepka back in action. Those are just some of the names to boot. So this part of the schedule, not nearly as grueling as we saw kind of leading up to the Masters or last month, where you weren't sure when guys were going to play. This part of the schedule, much more manageable. So we are seeing the dividends of that from the field that we have got here in this week in McKinney, Texas. So I think it's going to be great. It's going to be a ton of lead up to the PGA Championship. We get a new course. We get a great field. It's going to be a lot of fun. I will have plenty of content to boot. I will continue to try and get as much information on this course, especially when we start to get boots on the ground, get people down there, seeing what it's like, seeing how it's playing. So be sure to follow along this week. But for now, good luck. Enjoy it. Talk to you guys soon.